wala naman masyadong nangyayari sa crypto space. Everybody's kind of depressed and the prices are still down. We'll talk about it in a little bit after I play the ad bago ko pa makalimutan.
Bibili ka ng PC, most likely kailangan ng Windows. Pero saan ka kukuha ng legit Windows? Daming options, daming prices. Pakalito.
Buti na lang, may cdkeyoffers.com.
Madali lang ang order.
Search for the software you need, add to cart, daan ka sa payment options nila.
Wala pang 5 minutes, finished! May legit working CDK ka na para sa Windows mo.
Gamitin lang aming code para makakuha pa ng discounts.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffers.com.
Yun, thanks for joining me for another episode of Cryptowatch. Pero yun nga, as nabanggit sa introduction, nothing is happening. Everybody, world markets are kind of depressed. I mean, other markets outside of crypto are really down right now. Everybody's still concerned of a possible recession. Hang on, let me just reply to this. And so that basic uncertainty has filtered into the crypto markets. Although matagal naman siyang ganun. The great hope of crypto before was na it would become a different kind of reserve asset. Kasi when people are uncertain, bibili ka ng gold, bibili ka ng US dollar. One reason why the dollar is very strong against everybody, in fairness, not just us, there was a statement from a congressman recently na hindi naman mahina yung peso, malakas yung dollar, and it maybe not have been phrased well, pero totoo naman, everybody is down against the dollar. In times of economic uncertainty, people still do tend to go to the dollar. And sup, Rocket Programmer, mga 1 week na to. I guess I just haven't seen you. Di tayo nakikita sa shop eh. Sup, Lucky Bear Vlogs. Good evening. So, yeah, in times of uncertainty, even though the US economy isn't looking so hot as well, it's people go with what they know. And the great hope before for crypto was that Bitcoin or Ethereum would become another secure asset when in times of trouble, doon ka pupunta, doon ka tatakbo, bibili ka ng Bitcoin, bibili ka ng Ethereum. But that hasn't worked out at all. It's still very much Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two leading cryptocurrencies, are still very much seen as volatile assets. And that's, so in times of uncertainty, di ka pupunta doon, di ka bibili nun. So you want something more traditionally solid, like the US dollar or gold for that matter. I think gold prices are up. Although, yeah, so everybody is in this kind of, it's not even a tailspin, it's just a wait and see kind of thing where everybody's just waiting to see, will there be an actual recession? It'll plunge some more, or will central banks and governments in general rein in inflation, which is what everybody's concerned about. To be fair, if you were reading the business news 6 months, a year ago, there were some people already commenting na tataas talaga inflation, we're in for it. And the same people now are saying that the worst is yet to come. So the markets really are in a wait and see position. Bitcoin in particular is slightly down, even from when it was last time I streamed Cryptowatch, around 3 weeks or so ago. Mga 20,000 US to Bitcoin nun eh. Now it's around 19.2. So marginal, slight slump. It dipped below 19, I think, since then. But the stable price for Bitcoin seems to be around 19 at the moment. So yun yung parang floor niya. It'll dip down very briefly, but yun nga, just very briefly. And ayun, really, there's not much to report. Kaya yung title, same. Nothing exciting too much. Although I do have some research here. Let me pull it up. In September, Bitcoin was down 3% for the month of September. Historically, Bitcoin is really down anyway in September. Ethereum was also down. both were kind of volatile. I'm just going through the notes I have here. Sup, Sanjeev? Will GPU mining return? Probably not. Probably not in the same volume as we've seen it before. Mainly because none of the major currencies use proof of work anymore. Sorry, Bitcoin does. Sorry, Bitcoin does, but you wouldn't want to use GPU mining for Bitcoin since it's all on ASIC mining now, or basically dedicated chips. So Bitcoin still does, but you wouldn't use GPUs for that. Ethereum, the last big cryptocurrency where you could still GPU mine, shifted to proof of stake last month. We did talk about it in the Cryptowatch episode last month. And yun, there are a ton of different currencies that you can use GPUs to mine, but none of them have the same visibility and volume as Ethereum had or does have. So I don't think it'll come back in the same strength. Although I have been speculating, sup Mark Lewis. I was speculating with a customer of the shop that, you know, with the transition of Ethereum to proof of stake, that leaves a very wide, there's a big gap in the market where one coin can build up a lot of hype and transition to like to be the next Ethereum, but on GPU mining. But that's purely speculative on my part. And really, it's hard to think of any currency right now. There's so many crypto, there's so many coins out there, some with a lot of good features, but none of them have gained the same traction as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, sup, Japoy6491, thank you for watching all the way from London, where I believe it is 10 a.m. Diba? Kung 8-hour difference, 12 noon. Not quite sure if it is 8 hours. Parang what I think it is off the top of my head. 8 hours, 7-hour difference from us. Anyway, hindi pa evening over there. Thanks for watching. You guys are in a slump. Actually, I was going to bring it up in a little bit, but since Japoy from Sup, Anton from YouTube, since Japoy brought it up, he's in London right now. The UK economy has kind of imploded spectacularly. The outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss, in the span of 40 days or so, I was watching one commentary where it was like, before Liz Truss took power, the UK was a low growing or a slow growing but stable economy. And now after 40 days, it's a basket case. The economy is in a basket case. Inflation has spiraled. Everybody's savings are in jeopardy. So parang everybody is very concerned in the UK about that particular country's economy. And I was going to bring it up, or, it's an opportune time to talk about it now kasi that's kind of like where we all are right now. Parang we're on the brink. Parang kapit naman yung US. The US is trying to lower its interest rates, keep its economy chugging along. There are a lot of job openings. I think job data from the States is good. But yung parang it can just take a succession of small things to tip the economy over the edge, and everybody's worried about that now. So parang the UK is a good example of how badly things can get. And because that's investor sentiment, that has spilled over to crypto, where nobody is really moving anything. Yeah, Japoy, taking my lunch. I do tend to agree with Anton. From a market standpoint, I don't think Brexit was such a good move. I think it was a very misguided nationalistic endeavor. The Brits especially kasi sanay sila na island, hiwalay from the mainland. They're Europeans but different, Anglo-Saxon versus Teutonic, as it were. I mean, English is very different. I mean, then there's always a traditional rivalry between the French and the British. And I think they weren't really thinking about the economics. Although I really blame the Prime Minister, Cameron. I forget his first name. Cameron was a conservative and he was actually anti-Brexit. But just to appease members of his party who were pro-Brexit, he was like, sige, let's have a referendum. But they just all assume that the that the remain vote would succeed and that Britain would remain in the EU. And so Cameron didn't campaign. There wasn't any sustained effort from the government at the time to advance to show the benefits of why remaining in the EU would be a good thing. And so the Brexit vote won. Even though the guy who proposed it, Cameron, I wasn't in favor of Brexit. But yun nga, he had to appease his party. Pero yun nga, parang sobrang political miscalculation yun eh. It's like feeling niya sure thing. So like, let's call the vote. Parang feeling niya win-win. Let's call the vote. I will appease my party because I'm a conservative. The conservatives want Brexit. I can say na, I gave the people the vote and they voted no. Nobody expected it to push through, but it did. So parang very grave miscalculation on the part of Cameron. I forget his first name, I think. But I do tend to agree with Anton. At least from a market's perspective, Brexit was kind of misguided. AGTV, makakaroon po kayo ng RTX 4060? Probably. We've already had a leak of the RTX 4050. If you want a bit more news about the leak of the 4050, unang-unang pinalabas yung RTX 4050 sa buong mundo dito sa Pinas. The world got the first glimpse at the RTX 4050 because of us. I detail it more in our podcast. The links to the podcast you can check out in the video description below. But there was a leak of the 4050 and the leak came from us. So sikat na naman tayo. But I'm pretty sure, there's going to be a 4060. Maybe if Nvidia is generous, the canceled 4080 12 gigabytes, rebrand nila as a 4060. Probably not. Most likely it'll be rebranded as a 4070. Although it would be nice of Nvidia to dump it down to a 4060 para mas mababa yung presyo and mas in keeping naman dun sa performance. Just for context of the viewers who haven't been following GPU news, the 4000 series of Nvidia has come out pero 4090 pa lang. Next month, November 15 ata, lalabas ni si 4080. But initially, there were supposed to be two variants of the 4080. The 16 gigabytes and the 12 gigabytes. Pero hindi lang size of the memory yung difference between them. Even the chips powering the cards, magkaiba. Yung 16 gigabyte version, mas maganda yung chip AD103 compared to the underperforming or less performing AD104, which they stuck into the 4080 12 gigabyte. So nung in-announce yun ni Nvidia, dami nagalit yung internet. And in a rare move, nobody can quite remember, parang first time ever nakinig talaga si Nvidia, kinancel nila yung 4080 12 gigabytes. Not to say na gawa na yung cards ready na yan for launch. But so they're gonna sell those cards somehow, but they're not gonna be labeled anymore as the 4080 12 gigabytes. They're gonna, probably a 4070. But for sure, I think it's a sure bet that there will be a 4060 somewhere down the line. I hear you, Kaiser. I don't know. I don't know what the heck we're here for except to suffer. Crypto, that extends to crypto and to stocks and even like the computer hardware, right? I mean, there's a lot of computer hardware now that's cool, but the prices are crazy expensive. Sup, Hardware Sugar fan club. Recently I was watching a channel, parang Northwest Repair. But anyway, he's a guy. It's a relatively new YouTube channel in the States. Parang he repairs GPUs, then he shows people the process. I noticed that he begins his every episode with "Hello Internet." So yung What's Up Internet isn't really that creative, pero I think we were there first, for the record. So, the Brit economy is a good example of how tenuous everything is. Yung kapit talaga tayo, and that's really infiltrated all of the markets. Nobody wants to spend money. I would buy Bitcoin or Ethereum right now. After the merge, pre-merge kasi for Ethereum news naman, umabot yun ng mga 1,700 US or so for one Ethereum, but right now it's at like 1.3, I think. Let me check the price. So people bought in anticipation of the merge, and it merged successfully. But after the merge, bumagsak yung presyo ng ETH. Right now it's at 1.3. Sakto 1.3. And Kaiser will attest to this, but I think prices are undervalued now. You could probably buy now and sell it at, very quickly, like 2 weeks from now or something. But I've never seen a Cryptowatch episode where I don't say that it's a good time to buy. So, take that with whatever grain of salt you know. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. If I had some extra money, like I didn't have to give it to the shop so that the shop can afford 100 plus thousand 4090 bonkers GPUs. Oh, and speaking of bonkers, we have na the R9 7950X, so the fastest from AMD. And just today, we have the Intel i9. They're both 9, no? So confusing. Anyway, i9 3900. Sorry, Intel i9 3900KF, which I think we can I know, right? Yung people looking for indicators, yung mga economic indicators na, may technical cross or something. Alam mo, yung tip ko lang sa trading ng crypto, you wait until our episode Cryptowatch comes out, sigurado pagkatapos ng Cryptowatch, babagsak pa yan lalo. Because every Cryptowatch, I say, tingin ko undervalued yung crypto. I think now would be a good time to buy. And like clockwork, 2 days after the episode, babagsak yung crypto. So if you had followed my advice, lugi ka. But yeah, that seems to be an immutable. That seems to be the only sure thing about crypto. A couple of days after Cryptowatch, babagsak yung mga presyo na yan, just to prove me wrong when I say na you should buy. So really, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. But for real, if I had extra money, I'd buy right now. Sup, Tech Wolf Cave? Ha! I just saw the message from Ochi. No ETA yet, Ochi. But actually, no news is good news. So wala pa namang indication na magbabago yung price. And actually, we got another order for the same card. So when our supplier does get, I'll need to order 2 na. One for you and one for another guy. But wala namang balita. But that's usually a good thing. Here, since uso na yung mga leaks ngayon, let me see. I'm gonna upload leak nung. How do I Okay, I'm gonna try like a background image, and I'm gonna turn off my camera. Let's see if that works. I wanna leak to you the picture of the 13900 KF. Oh, add source. Thanks, Rocky the Programmer. Well, now ina-upload ko na eh. Add source. Okay. Are you sure? Parang local video lang eh. Presentation. What should I put? Rocky the Programmer. Di naman siya PPT eh. Wait, I'm gonna try it. Oh, here we go. Oo nga, no? That's the downside to having the background pala. Oo nga, I'm on mute. So, I was thinking, that's a good workaround. We can show it. Sige, wait, wala akong audio. Yon, okay. There was the 3900 KF. Although, nabenta na namin yan. Naka-reserve na yan. So, if you... this is the gentleman, if you've been watching our Facebook post, this is the guy who bought a R7 5800X3D plus 4090 rig. So complete rig 1,300 watt PSU Platinum from Seasonic. He bought that for his wife. And then he said, but he was like, this is his and hers. I'm also going to get a 4090 rig. This is the gentleman's 4090 rig. 3900 KF plus 4090. So we should probably have it done by next week, hopefully. I saw Leah Magnayes. For the record, pinatanggal ko na yung mga troll tsaka bot farms namin. So yung 2 likes na yan, legit talaga yan. Okay, wait. Hang on. I'm just gonna play the ad again because I always forget. So I might as well play it now.
Bibili ka ng PC, most likely kailangan ng Windows. Pero saan ka kukuha ng legit Windows? Daming options, daming prices. Baka nito.
Buti na lang, may cdkeyoffers.com.
Madali lang ang order.
Search for the software you need, add to cart, daan ka sa payment options nila.
Wala pang 5 minutes, finished! May legit working CDK ka na para sa Windows mo.
Gamitin ang aming code para makakuha pa ng discounts.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffers.com.
You know, I wish we could do this all OBS. There's really more control sa OBS. Pero, Restream doesn't work well with OBS. So, it's kind of annoying. Yeah. I mean, it's like, there's a compromise. So we use Restream through web browser so that we can do it to Facebook and YouTube because it doesn't work through OBS. At least for me, At least for me. Pag umabot ng 100,000 subscribers yung YouTube channel, that's when we start showing the love to them bots. HGTV, worth it pa din 30 series kahit may 40 series na? For sure. The prices of the 30 series are good. And in fact, I've mentioned it on our Facebook and it's some of the comments na, ironically, the 40 series coming out has made you look closer at the 30 series. Kasi no question, sobrang ganda ng performance ng 4090. Like some of the reviewers I saw, they were just like, parang di na nila alam anong game tatapon nila or what game they're gonna have the 4090 run kasi any settings, any game, any resolution, parang kayang-kaya niya. So, to be fair to Nvidia, the card is very pricey, pero grabe din yung performance. But because the card is so pricey, the 30 series is still a good option and good value now that the prices have been going down. Also because people are very aware na lalabas na yung ibang 40 series cards soon. So definitely, worth it yung 30 series. With the mining guys out now, you know, there's a lot of concern na bibili ka nung second-hand GPU kung ginamit ba yun sa mining. I've actually bought GPUs before na ginamit sa mining. Okay naman sila eh. Yun, it's you might want to repaste them or put new thermal pads, put new thermal paste. Check them out first, maybe if possible, stress test them a little. Pero in principle, okay naman eh. There are some good deals to be had in the second-hand market, even if the second-hand market ginamit yun for mining. Medyo mahirap lang kung galing China. Yun talaga, like talagang sobrang bugbog siguro yung mga cards na yun and there's no way you can test it beforehand. So yung mga second-hand na galing abroad, I wouldn't. Pero yung mga second-hand na dito, na maybe you can test it out a little bit, I think those are good value. Some gems there. Actually, interestingly enough, I was talking to somebody who parang sideline niya gumawa ng builds on the side and yung karamihan ng builds budget, so karamihan ng parts second hand and he gets a lot of his parts from FB Marketplace. And so I asked him, kamusta ba yung failure rate? So lahat ng parts mo second hand and you've bought a significant number from Marketplace. And you know, iba-ibang sellers yun eh. So wala talagang consistency. Like, at least, you know, with a shop and you buy something from the shop, alam mo naman, kung okay naman yung shop, okay yung warranty process nila. I mean, yun nga, you have, hawak mo yun. I mean, for your peace of mind, it might be a bit pricey sometimes from the shop. of course, compared to secondhand. But at least, yun nga sa shop, kung okay naman yung shop, like Hardware Sugar, you know that the warranty is in place. Pero FB Marketplace, you're dealing with people, it's one transaction lang, then you never see them again. Medyo kakabahan ka talaga, di ba? So I asked him, kamusta ba yung failure rate? And actually, to be fair, lahat nung nabili niya sa FB Marketplace, walang defective. This is not just GPUs, just all parts, kasi he deals in full builds. So I was quite surprised that the failure rate was basically zero. I mean, all of the parts were. Thank you, Kaiser, for answering Cov SS. And also to add, the ARGB uses 3 pins, and the RGB uses 4 pins. The headers, those talk to the headers where you plug them in on the motherboard. Yeah, so the second-hand parts were quite good. At least yun, based on that guy's experience na yun talaga yung ginagawa niya. He buys them off FB Marketplace second-hand, he assembles a computer, then he delivers it to the customer. So, not bad. It was bonkers. Is this for second-hand? Kaiser? Kasi basically, everything in the Philippines is humid. I mean, if it came from us, baka ano. Like my card is technically a second-hand, the one I'm using now. And technically also used for mining because I used it for mining and then nagka-screen artifacts. Natakot ako, never ko na ginamit for mining. Pero sa gaming, okay naman. Although sa Overwatch 2, I noticed may screen tearing. I'm like, what the hell is this? I tried those 3 cheap monitors. Never nagka-screen tearing. In fairness, hindi naman sa Overwatch 2, sa Valorant. Pero pagdating sa sarili kong computer with my BenQ EX2780Q na 2K, na 144Hz, and with my GPU, the 3080, bigla may screen tearing sa Overwatch 2. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I need to change some setting. Tinamad din ako. To be honest, kung di naman story game, it's not like I'm not picky. Like, I don't blame the screen tearing, but ako namatay. It is just kind of annoying though, especially kasi you think especially because all of the other, like I was trying out these cheap monitors. It was like 3 videos back. You can look at it on our channel. I was trying 3 different monitors na super cheap for their specs from Lazada. Lahat sila walang screen tearing. Tapos pagdating sa akin, on my personal computer, like on my own hardware, biglang may screen tearing. It's kind of annoying. Hardware Sugar Fan Club. If you're really a fan, you know the answer to this question. 100K monitor upgrade or car upgrade? You know the answer, and I'm going to type out the answer now. I'm going to be cryptic, but if you're a true fan, you know what my answer means. To be fair, I'm enjoying the game, okay? I'm enjoying the game. Actually, I was thinking about it nga today kung dapat mag-tourney tayo ng Overwatch 2 eh. Wag na yung Valorant. Banu talaga ako sa Valorant. I'm kind of a rush-in kind of guy, and Valorant really punishes idiot players like me who just rush in. You're like, yeah, I'll jump out, and then yung parang you're coming around the curve, and instead of doing it slowly na ganyan, you jump out, mala CS. And then, you get penalized for movement. When you jump, you get penalized in your aim and shit like that. So I'm not a Valorant fan talaga. Not also a Dotes player. So, but yung Overwatch 2, I played it yesterday. I've been playing it once a week with my friends for like 3 weeks. Okay naman, natuwa naman ako eh. Yeah, like I would be I would be on board with having a Hardware Sugar Overwatch 2 tournament. I was talking, Liam Magdaya's comment, I was talking about this with my brother Rafael, and I feel that that car video was like criminally underrated. Sobrang konti lang nanood noon relative to our other videos. But I had a really good time making that video kasi parang I really felt the evolution of car technology and then the merger of automobiles and mobiles. And I even had a pun about it in the title. I had a pun in the title or something. That's a critically underappreciated video. Pero yes, it should always be computer before car. That the truth. If you're on our team, Rocky the Programmer, support din ako eh. But are you like straight up support like Mercy? Like I'll play Mercy sometimes, but usually naka Moira ako. Or kung naiinis ako na I just want to deal damage, I'll do Farah. Which I actually had a pretty good game yesterday. So I'm pretty pleased myself. But yeah, I'm like Farah, Moira, Mercy are usually like my rotation. Yeah, Overwatch 2. We should know. You haven't told me your plans yet kung ano ba yung Dotes tournament. Or ano ba yung next na tournament. Oo nga. Before I get too sidetracked, which I want to do, especially on these shows na medyo ularap talaga akong like there's nothing to say about crypto. Prices are down. There is no indication when they will be up. I saw an interesting news article actually na Hong Kong is thinking of legalizing or legitimizing crypto transactions, which is kind of strange because basically Hong Kong has been taken over by China. Yung two systems, one country policy nila, yun kalokohan yun. China basically used the pandemic as cover to take over Hong Kong. So I was curious to see those news articles kasi China is anti-crypto. Like they banned mining, they banned Bitcoin. They have a digital yuan, which is not really crypto, but of course, that's controlled by the Communist Party, that's controlled by the state. So I'm really curious to see why people would think Hong Kong would allow it when China doesn't allow it. Kasi basically yun nga, pareho na yun eh. Hong Kong is China. Minecraft RTX tournament confirmed on this at 20. Nice. I see now what yes. This is not our bot. Our bot is very polite. This is somebody else's bot. Or new watch. I mean, for the price of a 4090, the price is around 218. It's hard to tell. The exchange rate is going on like $1,800. Wala pa naman yun yung mga sobrang bonkers na watch like yung Panerai. Obviously, I don't even follow that. Or Rolex. But there are a lot of other very niche brands. It's not really my scene, but Patek Philippe. Yeah, you wouldn't get a Patek Philippe for 1.8. Ako personally, I don't very rarely wear a watch anymore because I really fall in love with my Fitbit. Yeah, so for me, it would be upgrade computer. Like just myself. I wouldn't put it past the Communist Party to manipulate but yeah, basically what you're talking about is insider trading. Make an official policy but buy based on what you think the effect of that policy will be. I wouldn't put it past them to do that. Yes, I was a bit surprised that we have this in the ad. That was a bit risque. That didn't pass by the hardware sugar sensor. That's why tuloy the next video parang I want to make sure ano bang concept ng mga staff natin before I greenlight the video. This is really true. The three constants in the world: death, taxes, and crypto prices becoming depressed after a Cryptowatch episode. I mean that appears to be a legit observation. It's like every time I'm like, wow, they ganda ng prices. Talagang I would buy now. Although to be fair, legit. Like if you had bought at 20K, yun, medyo you lost out some money. But now it's really a good time to buy, I think. Legit. Yeah, prices are expensive now. Hardware Sugar Fan Club, dapat si Rocky yung nag-crossed legs. Don't tempt the boys. Don't tempt the boys. I'm sure the next ad will be even more of a shit show, horror show, like in a good, like in a sadya, like it's really designed to be that kind of cringe / late 90s late night show aesthetic. But a lot of people didn't get that. To be fair, a lot of people did get that we were intentionally parodying these very cringy kind of, yun nga, for me, it felt like a late 90s, late night uh, TV marketing kind of video. But we do still get some comments for people who didn't get the joke. Tapos, they're like, ang low budget nung ad nyo, parang, hindi ko bakit ganon yung ad, parang ganon. And it's really a case of people not understanding the context. Like, to understand it's funny, you kind of have to understand what we're parodying, and the references, yun nga, like the famous Basic Instinct, cross legs kind of thing. But yeah, we don't care. We'll have fun. If some people don't get it, we can explain it to them. Although that you kind of miss out on the joke if it has to be explained. And for the fans that do get it, parang we're all on the same wavelength, diba? RCL, bili tayo ng green screen. Ang dami na natin nabili ah. Binili na natin yung camera for the shop, the light stick for the shop. What else have I bought for the shop? Tripod for the shop. We need more YouTube members. Or we should just open up that OnlyFans. And then let's see if the money rolls in para we can upgrade the equipment. Supren, who I will have new work for you on Monday, promise. Actually, Red, I mean, aside from videos, there is one thing na kailangan natin gawin on Monday. Graphics naman, graphics related. I'll message you on Monday. Yun. After the fact na ba to? Like, hindi na siya approval. Parang, like approval after the fact na lang. Fait accompli is what they call it in the law. What's this? But we still need budget because I want to buy a FLIR cam. Yung infrared cam, the thermal cam for motherboard reviews. Because to be honest, I have no... Like, it's so hard to do motherboard reviews. I mean, I just don't wanna repeat the specs, but parang everybody just wants me to repeat the specs, but I get bored and like there's no context. So what ba kung may USB 3.2 internal header? What does that mean? And then I'll have to explain na that's good because you can connect it to the case and so mas mabilis. But then hahaba na yung review. So we need a FLIR cam so like we can have naman more data-based facts in our motherboard reviews. But yung problema, even then, for me kasi it's more like you can look at the specs, but you really don't know kung may topak yung motherboard line until people actually start using it. Parang yung ASRock. We used to carry ASRock Mobos, but we found na they're not very stable. I mean, there were several instances na they weren't working, but they should work. Although to be fair, the Steel Legend series, and I'm sure Rocky the Programmer, kasi parang naka Steel Legend ata si Rocky the Programmer. Okay naman yung Steel Legend series nila, but the other Mobos, there were issues that there shouldn't have been issues. So that's the thing with motherboard reviews. I mean, bottom line, you want to know if it's stable, if it's a good quality Mobo. But I feel that you can only really do that after using it and having like volume data. Like, hindi lang ako yung gumamit, but we've sold it to 50 people. I mean, some of the motherboard lines you carry, I'm sure we've sold hundreds of those already. The X570s, the Gigabyte or something. So, alam talaga namin na stable siya. I mean, it's something na we can depend on. We can't, to be honest, you really can't capture that in some, the brand sent you a motherboard, looks good, you used it for a week, okay naman siya, but the volume data from, like what we did in the warranty video, plus the volume data, plus yung just our experience installing, assembling with it, takes time yun nga, to get that kind of data. And yeah, so that's why I'm really like, I don't know what to do with our motherboard reviews. But to be fair, I think a lot of motherboard reviews naman in general, I don't like a lot of the motherboard reviews I see on YouTube. One I do like is Laurent's Choice. I think he's a French guy in the States. We've actually corresponded. He has good motherboard reviews, in fairness to him. Still a bit specs heavy for me, but at least parang may nakukuha ka naman, may natututunan ka naman. I do agree. Everybody does like the Steel Legend aesthetic, which is why it's quite popular. Although we don't care, we used to carry it in the shop, but now we only have it on custom order. Yun. Um, supposedly I've been seeing people say that, like, I'd be comfortable with 1,000 watts, but the two builds that we've done talaga na from us, the 4090, it's it's like a 1,300 watt Seasonic Prime Platinum PSU. Pero actually, the 4090, yung pinaka-maximum niya, 450 watts. But, and that's with the 3. Again, this is covered in the podcast, guys. I do want to plug the podcast, but to be honest, I do learn a lot of new things because I have to research for that, and it ends up getting mentioned in the podcast. So, might be a good idea to check out some of the episodes. The latest one is where I talk about this particular detail about the 4090. Yung max na 100% ng card is 450 watts. That's using 3 of the 8 pins. Pero may apat yung 8 pins na yon, yung 4 to... It's a 12-pin primary power connector, but since nobody has 12-pin yet, the card comes with 4x8. So you'll need to plug in 4x8 power connectors. 4 of the 8-pin power connectors. The 3 power connectors gets you to 450 watts. You add the 4th, then you get 600 watts of total power that the GPU can draw on. And that's for overclocking, and that's for smoothing out performance. But the card is very smart. I mean, literally, it detects how many power cables you have plugged in. So kung naka 3 ka lang, it knows that it can only draw 450 watts. Galing. May IC talaga, may integrated circuit yung adapter ata. So at least the one from Nvidia, ha, kasi the only reviews I've seen are the Nvidia adapter mismo. But I'm sure the third-party guys also put that in. I mean, it's kind of crucial to ano. Yeah, Anton, basically the 4th is for overclocking. So that the maximum that the 4090 can draw is 600 watts, and then you can do a PSU calculator for your other parts. Personally, I would be comfortable with 1,000 watts. I've seen like some people recommend 850 watts. Kung quality PSU, maybe. Tapos hindi naman super bonkers yung CPU mo. Baka pwede naman. But like this one, yun nga, yung upcoming namin is a 4090 plus 3900 KF build. Or the to be fair, yung R75800X3D, hindi pa naman sobrang grabe yung power consumption nun compared to the 7000 series. 4090 loaner unit when? Never, because it'll be on loan permanently to me. But the 2080 Super that we have as a loaner is doing quite well, in fairness to the Galax 2080 Super. Hindi ko maalala kung HOF ata yun. Yeah. I've seen some recommend saying na, okay, pwede naman yung 850 watts, but personally, I would be more comfortable with 1,000. And yun nga, the builds that we've personally done, 1,300 watts. Although that's an insane amount of power to have in your computer. But anyway, I mean, parang 1 horsepower plus lang yun. I mean, the aircon, so Is there a reason why you can buy sa mga store GTX 1650, 1660, meron ng 3,000? Basically, the question is, ba't wala ng 2,000 series? Actually, may 2060 pa rin. We should be carrying that. If you checked out our more recent video on the 2060, kasi lumabas sila nung new version ata relatively recently, I think we actually carry the 2060. Don't we have one on stock, or do we need to restock na ba? Let me check. Kasi actually the 2060 is very close in performance to the 3050. Although the 2060 does beat it out a little bit. Let me check. Oh, sorry. I'm checking our supplier lists. I think there are 2060s available. Oh, for sure. Oh, wait a minute. No. My last parts list mentioning kasi the 2060 was like a month ago. So I'm not too sure now, actually. Maybe that's why we haven't restocked. Although I would imagine that Nvidia doesn't want you to buy to 20 series anymore. Like, pupush na lang yung 30 series. I'm even surprised they're still making 1650s eh. And of course, the infamous 1630. So, perhaps they have phased it out na. Although if it's possible with our supplier, we would probably restock again the 2060 Eagle, the gigabyte one, or perhaps a from Galax or something. I mean, that we would like. I think that's still a good value proposition, even with the new cards out now. Like price to performance, okay naman. Especially recently with the prices. All right, so I'm gonna end the stream now because basically yun nga, wala talaga mapag-usapan about crypto. um, and so this stream was just like a lot of diversions. I mean, I like it. I like just rambling on. Let me just do plug the. We had a video drop yesterday on how to overclock your GPU from Rocky the Programmer. Tomorrow we'll have a video review of the ROG phone. It's a looks like a good looking phone. Performance is of course ROG top notch. And please do check out our podcasts. Yeah, we have a weekly podcast every Friday. In the previous episode, which dropped yesterday, I talk about yung nga, yung 4090, the power requirements, and that whole thing about the adapters. And what else do I talk about? Oh, the leak, na the 4050 leak from the Philippines, and then yung Grand Lason, which is a. It was also held yesterday. Parang it was a big convention for yung mga keyboard aficionados and things. So yeah, do check out the podcast. We have a video dropping tomorrow. We had a video drop yesterday. And thank you, Leah Magnaye. I really chose to for the podcast because I really do edit it for clarity and brevity. But when I started talking about free speech, I really decided to have it completely candid. So that was no cuts, no editing. Just straight from my heart and my thoughts. So I enjoyed it. I try not to do too many rants or too many stream of consciousness things. But in that case, I really do. I'm a very big believer in free speech. If you are curious what I'm talking about, please do check out the podcast. Logan's stream when actually, if you had seen, he very briefly appeared in the background around 10 minutes ago, but you can't get that dog to sit still, so probably never. Unless we get a GoPro, then we stick it on his back. Like naging Usima video na yan, di ba? Yes. Rafael is game. We just need more people to order from out of town, like outside of Metro Manila. Game. Actually, yun lang naman yung criteria ko outside of Metro Manila kasi it's no fun to deliver within Metro Manila. Traffic, walang parking sa labas. Especially, ang hirap sa mga condo kung magde-deliver ka sa condo. It's no fun. Like, I'm in it for the drive. So, if more customers order from out of town, for sure, we would be happy to deliver personal delivery, live drive. Sup, Carlos? Investment stories po sana sa podcast, sir. Sure. Ayun nga, we're actually still experimenting with the format, like what we should include there. And I know the staff have a lot of ideas. I just haven't been able to sit down with them to really thresh it out. But we're game. So next sa Discord, sama kayo. Kung maganda yung timing. I was only able to do this live stream because my wife went out and I tired out my 2 toddlers. So basically, I had a very small window which is now closed to live stream. Which is why nag-live stream ako even though wala naman talagang dapat pag-usapan. I mean, the title says it all. Same yung sa crypto space. Still depressed, no movement, no indication when it's gonna be up. So, but if I had extra money, I really would buy now. Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. The next time you guys go out. Same answer. Kung maganda yung schedule. Game naman ako. Oh, like ano. Actually, that would be easier if you have somebody like the two of us manning it. But I just think hindi siya efficient in terms of time eh. But pwede naman. Although, like, I would be the one driving. I want to do the driving. Should I wait for the 13600 KF or go for the 12? I'm not sure about the price. Actually, we got prices na. Wait. Let me pull up the prices for you. The 13600 KF would be... Wait, saglit. The 13600 KF would be 21100. Of course, that's just the CPU. Wala pa yung GPU dun. But yeah, there are prices na out for the 13 series, 13th gen. And yun, not sure about your budget, but you can compare it now against the 12600 KF. All right. So thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend, guys. Yun, please check out the video, the overclocking video from yesterday, the video tomorrow about the ROG phone, and our podcast. The links in the description below. Take care. If ever we have a side trip to Canada, our next... Actually, Rafael is going to the States in December. If anybody wants to meet up in New York, let us know. I won't be there. I'll be here. But Rafael will be in New York for December. Thank you, bots. You get some downtime now.